What's up?
Hello there.
How's it going?
I'm doing well. How's your day?
Uh, it was pretty good. Um, it's a lot,
Solid
man.
answer.
It's a lot. Um, Start out with work. Um, Called a couple clients. Then I had the then we had the 10:30, which went well. Um, then after that, I had to go to the yard. I had to get propane. I had to drop off some quarter-inch metal sheets to get laser cut from Ortiz Metal, and pick up some 1 inch laser, 1 inch metal that he laser cut for me to do some bases for a country club. Um, then I called you from my yard. We talked bandsaw craziness, and then I got back to my shop. I took a nap. I always have to like cut it off for a minute, and I slept outside in my van for a minute. The sun was shining, it was nice. Uh, then came in here and then uh, got ready. How about
Very
you? How was
diverse
your day?
day. Pretty good. I think it was
Um,
fairly productive, which is good.
Always good. Always good. First, thank you for coming on and talking to us.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
My pleasure. It's an honor to have you. Um, Before we start, I want to say that this is going to be a two-part conversation. The first one is going to be about your journey, you. The second one, we're going to stop it and start again, and we're going to talk in depth specifically about the bandsaw, chainsaw mills, um, big production bandsaws, and what's the best fit for whomever
Mhm.
and the best value.
Yeah.
All right, so as usual, I'm going to start with some questions. All right, do you have an overused phrase?
An overused phrase. Probably just references to crotch. Crotch figure is my most overused thing by far.
Okay, least favorite thing to do?
Um, Good question. That's a good one. I don't know. The least favorite thing to do is probably like the thing I don't feel like doing at the moment, which is a terrible answer.
Um, Favorite thing to do?
I think cutting logs on the sawmill. It's kind of
All
up
right,
there.
okay. What makes you tick?
Uh, my passion for what I do and my desire to inspire people.
All right, okay. What irks you the most? You see these responses, right?
Uh, yeah, I thought I'd be more prepared by now.
um, what irks you the most?
People not taking me seriously.
Okay. Um, what sound makes you happiest?
What makes me happiest?
What sound makes you
Sound?
happiest?
The shower.
Okay. Um, what sound bothers you the most?
Uh, so it sort of bothers me, but it sort of doesn't at the same time. It's my kids stopping on the floor above the shop when I'm trying to film. I know they're having fun and everything, but it's loud and annoying.
Damn it, I need this content. um, what is the cuss word you use the most?
Holy crap!
Yeah, I don't cuss. I don't cuss. I don't cuss at all either.
Not, not much.
Um, what profession other than your own would you try?
Welding.
Okay. All right. Um, what one thing would you change about your spouse? She's on here too.
I know. Uh, I would change, maybe like have her home more, change her
Good,
job
good answer.
to like not have one.
Good answer. All right, so let's get into Matt Cremona. After high school,
Yeah,
what did you do?
I went to college.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to school, UW La Crosse,
Where?
University of Wisconsin La Crosse.
Okay, all right. What was school like for you? What did you do in school?
So I started as biology pre-med major.
Okay.
That didn't really go so well. I changed my junior year to business, specifically finance and information systems. And then after 5 years, I graduated with a bachelor's degree.
All right. Now, so while in college, what kind of student were you? What kind of life did you have?
I probably wasn't like super. I wasn't really into like school that much. I just didn't like. I really enjoyed high school. I think what I really liked about high school was the energy that the teachers brought. And college professors are not teachers. They're not motivators. They don't really know how to like keep people interested and entertained necessarily. So
yeah, they're more or less someone who's an expert in their field.
yeah, something like cool. I'm sitting here and watching you read this book. Like I could do that at home. Like I don't need you to do that for me. And like I just they didn't bring it for me. So I wasn't interested. I wasn't motivated. So I'm not gonna put my energy into it. So I ended up spending a lot of time kind of doing self-learning, I guess, and doing things outside of school. I taught myself a lot about programming and computers and stuff like that. And woodworking ended up being a big part of my life too, outside the classroom.
Okay, so what kind of woodworking were you doing in college?
Oh, just like putzing around in the driveway, trying to make things, anything I could make. I started doing like plywood. That was kind of my foray into woodworking, making projects, carcasses out of plywood. And then I wanted to try this whole like solid wood joinery with these Morse and tenon things. So I kind of went down that road, and then I just loved it so much, and it was a great escape for me to be in the shop making things that are tangible and physical, and just doing something I absolutely love.
Okay, so after college, what did you do?
I went to work at a software startup. I actually started that job while I was in college. I did a lot of stuff there because it was a small company. My biggest role was I guess like head up the development team and product design. So I would figure out what the product needed to do from a user standpoint, and then convey that to the developers and bring the whole development through the entire process until we had a completed, component that could then be released to the users.
What did you find was the most challenging part of doing that?
Probably just the fact that I learned this lesson that things in the real world take a lot longer than you would think. Like when I sat down on day one to like to roadmap this whole project, I'm like, oh, this is like maybe a month or two's worth of work, and it ended up being like 9 months just to get through all this stuff. And I was like, this is crazy. So I remember like doing like group projects in school, and like, oh, you have a whole semester to do this. I'm like, that's a long time. I bet people do like a million things in that amount of time out in the real world, but you don't really. And the biggest thing that I learned on that job that I wish like the education system would have given me was the fact that most jobs and most things in the world, the only real skill you need is communication. If you can communicate to people, you can convey ideas, and you can find the person to do what you need to have done, you're miles above and beyond everyone else.
Okay, cool. All right. So how long were you there?
That would have been, after I graduated, it was 4 years.
So you were there for 4 years?
Yep.
Okay.
4 years full time.
I'm sorry?
And it was 4 years full time, and then I was part time while I was in school for a year and a half before that. So I was there almost 6 years.
Okay. Did your role change during your tenure there, or Was it just the same thing?
It definitely changed as the company grew. We added new personnel, so some of my roles got removed, which is nice. So when I started, I had literally every role. So one of the first things we did was pull the sales role off of me so I could focus more on the development. And then later on, we hired someone that just did onboarding and support and training. So I didn't have to do that either.
Okay. All right. And why did you leave there?
I got laid off.
Okay.
Yep.
Startup.
Yep.
Then what?
And then, so when I got laid off, I had been making videos on YouTube for about a year at that point. And I decided that I would just try and make a living at doing online content full time. So my wife is very supportive when I told her I'm not going to keep looking for a new job. I'm just going to go to making zero, and hopefully I'll build a business. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty supportive.
Yeah, well, she was pregnant at the time too, so yeah, it was even more.
She was like, "What?" So, what was the first project that you put on YouTube? Was it YouTube, or just content in general?
No, YouTube was always and still is like my primary focus. That's where like the final thing lives. So I started the YouTube channel in 2014 as like I've never made a New Year's resolution before, but I had always wanted to make videos and share them on the internet. And that year I made a resolution that I would finally start doing that for real. And I started doing my shop update as a way to just be better at speaking, better at communicating, and just finally put myself out there and share what I'm doing. So I started this shop update where literally all I had to do was just like sit in front of a camera and say what I did that week. You put a camera in front of me and I'm like, I can't talk anymore. I can't get any words out. Nothing's working. And I worked really hard at that. I did a video. I did it every week. I told nobody about it. I just put it up there and then went about my life. And then people started watching these things. So I'm like, how are people finding this? And then people started commenting on it and subscribing to the channel. I'm like, okay, so there's something going on here. People are interested in this. And I finally get to the point where I'm like, okay, well, I've done enough of these shop updates. Maybe I can branch out and try something new.
Okay, hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
How many updates did you do?
I still do it.
Okay, like from the time you started to do the update until it picked up, and when you weren't telling anyone.
My first one was like January 21st, and then my first subscriber was in March, and I started getting comments in May.
And you were doing them every week?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, every week.
But you know, that's what it takes. It takes drive. It takes determination. Like this morning I was talking about Steel and Grain, how he used to be on the email bugging me talking about he wanted a big walnut slab. And sometimes he would get on my nerve, but the dude had drive. He wanted it. And I was kind of in the periphery. I'm like, he goes, where do you get them from? How do you get big walnut slabs? I need a big walnut slab. I'm like, man, it just happens. Mm-hmm. You got to look for them. But that's pretty cool. Okay, so go ahead.
So I did that for a few months until I got comfortable enough in front of the camera where I finally got to that point where I'm like, I didn't see the camera as a camera. I saw the camera as my audience, people I'm actually talking to. So that was sort of like the aha moment for me. And then I did a little tea box. My coworker wanted to give his girlfriend a little tea box. So I made this dovetail tea box, and I made a 3-part video series about it. And that was my first like build video series thing on YouTube. And that really just just kind of went from there. It's been going since then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what is your most challenging thing about content building?
Probably just like staying motivated. It's quite a grinding job, so you could burn out pretty easily. So you have to strike that balance of how much do I put out versus how much do I just take some time to just relax. Because especially with what I do, it becomes such an ingrained part of your life where you can't separate work from personal time.
But what do you mean by that? You can't separate work from personal time.
So, like, I'll be on Instagram or I'll be on YouTube answering comments, hopefully I shouldn't do it at the dinner table, but I can, and it does happen. Or I'm sitting in a dark room at night waiting for my kids to fall asleep, and what am I doing? I'm trying to answer questions and stay caught up because I know that because I'm. It's unfortunate because I'm at that point, or I've passed that point now where I can't answer everything, and I
Right.
want to. So I want to make that effort to try and actually, like, if you put the time to actually put together something to ask me, that I'm actually going to respond.
As a matter of respect. But sometimes you don't have time because you
That's
remember there's one person that's asking there's one person that's taking time to talk to you, but on your side you're getting who knows how many questions.
yeah,
So it may have taken that person 5 minutes to ask you a question, but it may take you hours to answer them all.
and it does. But if I can at least break it up a little bit, it doesn't feel as monotonous and ridiculous. So
So, so you try to answer every question?
I try. I mean, I try. I don't. I make no claim that I actually answer everything, but I do try. I try to be present.
So you have difficulty separating work from your family time.
Yeah,
I guess bringing work home when work is at home.
exactly. Yeah,
Leaving it in the shop.
it's true.
Okay. So it seems that you've done the other way pretty well, which is incorporating your personal life into your work,
Sure.
which is good. Now, my opinion of that is I think that's great. And people respond to that because you seem more human. I didn't do that for the longest time. If you go back before the conversations,
Mm-hmm.
you could not find my face in my feed anywhere. Anywhere. And what I found from that was the less you engage with people, the less engaged they are.
Yeah, I agree with that. That makes
And
sense.
and I used to um, look at you, Paul, Still and Green, and I'm like, how in the hell do those guys do that? I'm like, what? I mean, Paul is prideless. He ain't got no shame.
Uh-huh.
He's like, and this is all day, and he's good, and it shows in his work because people follow him, and I would always think that this, like having the conversations, is probably the most. It's a serious meter on people being engaged and following you, because if you tell people I'm going to talk about me and they're engaged, they're going to follow you to listen to talk about you. And if you don't do that and you're not engaging, they won't be either. and it's kind of pushed me to step out of the box because, like you talking to the camera, it was a little bit difficult for me to be on this side. And let me tell you, Matt, I was in speech and debate. I had no problem speaking, but it's a matter of confidence and self-confidence. And what we do by deciding to be on social media is we're committing to open ourselves up to the rest of the world. And what happens is you have to determine how much or how little you want to put out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a fine line between too much, but like everything, it's a balance. All right, so what if you could? What would you change about your current situation, your work situation?
Well, I've been working on changing something is having more space. That's
Okay.
kind of like up there. Having more space to like work and like move around and being able to do bigger things.
Okay.
Be
Having more yard space or more shop space?
both.
You know what the problem with that is, right?
I'm sure you'll tell me what's the problem with this one.
The more space you have, the more crap you get.
And I'm okay with that.
uh, um, so, um, so what are you doing about that? Are you looking at a separate yard? I mean, what do you have a solution, or do you just have to make it work where you are?
I have to make it work for now. We've been looking for a new house. We outgrew this house a long time ago. So we've been house hunting for almost 3 years now, trying to find something that works for our family situation and gives me more space to do what I need to do. And I've also been looking for commercial space as well to expand everything. That's
Okay, so you're not looking for both. You're looking for one or the other.
I'm looking for both, and whatever I find first is what's going to happen first.
But that's what I mean, though, is are you looking for, okay, let's say, for example, you get a commercial space, right? Would you still be looking for a bigger house?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay. And you're that busy?
I am up against the wall of how much I can grow.
Okay. And how much do you want to grow?
A lot. I'm at an interesting point in my business where I think I can keep going and doing a lot more of the digital stuff. I keep doing those things, but I'm at a point where I think a lot of business owners can get to where I can create jobs, and I've been able to create this job for myself, something that I am super passionate about. I know not everybody can actually like go out and make a living at woodworking or doing. There's a lot of people that are passionate about wood just like I am, but don't have the opportunity to set out and find their dream job. So I want to be able to create basically dream jobs for people.
Well, that's an important point because you made your own lane. A lot of anything in life that requires hard work requires luck as well.
Oh yeah, I have my fair share of that. Yes.
Because as you know, there are a lot of talented woodworkers out there that ain't nobody ever heard of.
Oh yeah, fine, yeah.
And those people didn't get lucky. so you were able to create your own lane, and I think it's great because once you get a bigger space, you can employ more people. Okay, so talk to me about what that looks like. So let's say, for example, you got a commercial space, you have 10,000 square feet. You got 2 floors, 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom.
This is great.
All right. So what would that look like? What do you do with that 10,000 square feet, 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom? You got 3-phase electric. It's a single building. You got a parking lot.
So I think we're maybe a little bit ahead of my time here on this one. But there's like different things that I would love to get into. Like I turned down a lot of commission work because I don't take on commission work at all right now.
Why?
I just don't have the mental capacity to deal with that, or really an efficient way of executing anything larger than something really small. So a lot of people come to me for tables and dining sets or whatever the heck they want. I just can't efficiently make that. And the other thing too is when I started doing this, the beautiful thing about what I do is I get to make whatever I want to make, however I want to make it. So I'm not here like trying to make what this person wants in their mind, trying to figure out what that is and hopefully bring it into reality for them.
Well, let me tell you, once you get that commercial space, that's going to change.
And I as I said, I'm totally fine with that. But having that space to do more of the lumber stuff, I turned down so much wood because I just don't have the space to put it all, the places to put it. and I would like to be able to show and demonstrate much larger equipment, larger techniques, and just larger projects in general than I can now.
Okay, so all right, so I'm going to actually be more specific. So, okay, on the top floor of a two-story, what would you have? I know you thought about this.
I have. I haven't really thought about it as a two-story building, though. Sounds pretty fun. I think upstairs would be like the finishing area. I don't know. With a separate space.
Yeah. On a two-story, you don't want the finishing area because then you got to bring all the heavy furniture upstairs, then bring it back downstairs. So, your digital, your video, offices.
I would also like that, so I would like to have some more room to actually be able to get the camera around and actually have a production crew that I would employ to actually do all the stuff that I do now alone, like moving the camera around, making sure that's all working. And I have a remote editor now, but an in-person editor assistant type of thing would be nice too. My bottleneck is just me. I can only do so much as one person.
Yeah. Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you want a full woodworking shop, joiners, planers, CNC, the whole nine.
Ideally.
Okay, and you obviously want a full metalworking shop.
So I think it was kind of interesting that this is like we're kind of like crossing the lines because like I thought about the larger space for me, and I've also thought about like the separate commercial space for the things where employees do stuff. But like I have like my own personal dream shop, and then I have like the business's like shop or whatever you want to call it. So the way that I'm trying to, I guess, grow things and like the direction I want things to go with is like the video production side of things, which is more focused on me. That's something I have to be involved in, and the physical products division or segments of the business where that can function separately from the video production, because the things happening over there in the physical products world doesn't need to be on video necessarily.
Yeah, has nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
Make the stuff, get it right, and get it out.
Yep. But just that physical products thing allows me to leverage my brand and not turn down all this work that someone else could be doing. I got to cut out essentially.
Okay, so let's talk about that. How much work do you turn down a month?
I probably get like 8 inquiries, and I'm not out there like advertising that I take on commission work either. That's just people like oh, this guy's work is pretty cool. Let's see if I can get him to make me something.
So would this be local or all over the world?
I mean, local initially. Okay. Oh, you mean for the commissions?
Yeah, your inquiries. Do you get them from all over or just from local?
Most like in U.S. mostly. I don't really get a whole lot out of the country, but mostly U.S.
Okay. Do you refer those to anybody?
It depends on what they're looking for.
Okay.
If it's a commercial, like conference table type of thing in the U.S., I'll refer that out to Greg Pilati. He's out in Pennsylvania.
PA. Yep.
I think.
Yep, he is.
Yeah, and if it's something smaller locally, depending on what it is, I know a few people locally that do commission woodworking stuff.
Okay.
So I try and like facilitate that a little bit before I send them on their way to the next person. And the same thing is true with sawmill stuff. So I refer all of the, hey, can you come cut my log, or Hamp's log, can you cut it stuff? That all gets referred right now.
All right. I get a lot of that too. You know, and I said it amazes me, man, how people don't know the difference between diameter, radius, and circumference.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I have this 90-inch diameter log. You're like, what? That's huge. It's like, okay, it's like 30 inches or whatever, 36 inches. Like, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Right. And it's 90-inch circumference log. So you have a full your dream shop is a full metal shop, full woodworking shop, and a finishing room.
Yeah. So my dream shop for my own thing is to have the shop set up with whatever I need to be able to execute whatever's in here. So whatever that might be. If I have an idea, I want to be able to go in the shop and like, it's just you just make it. You know?
Okay. No, let me tell you, the same for me. You know what happens? It's too many damn machines in the shop. Listen, because people, when Jack English and I did a tour, we did a tour of my shop, because you got a lot of machines. And Matt, it's for the same thing you just said. I want to be able to make anything. Anything. Let me tell you the thing that I was kind of upset about, but I couldn't get. Was not being able to pivot and make masks. I was upset about that.
Oh,
Man,
sure.
I have 6 sewing machines in here.
Do you?
Yeah, I got 6 sewing machines in here. So when that mask thing happened and the shield thing happened, I was really, really upset that I couldn't do that. And let me be honest with you. Doing it to help mankind was secondary.
Yeah.
The primary reason is because I wanted to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm helping mankind is a benefit of that. But I really wanted to be able to do it. And that bothered me. So I admire that and good luck.
Well,
Okay,
thank
so Steel Gray said that not knowing the difference between circumference and diameter.
Very common.
Yes. So what's the furthest? Now I've seen that you've traveled to take some. You've traveled to enhance your brand, enhance your knowledge. What's the furthest you've gone?
I think the UK. I think it's the furthest.
What'd you go to the UK for?
I've been there a few times. Triton Tools, which is one of my main sponsors, is based there. And well, before this whole COVID thing, I'd go out there at least once a year. They would do some kind of content thing for about a week, and then they have a show over there called Maker Central, which I would attend.
Okay, all right. So your wife asked, why can't I make them? I couldn't make masks because it would require me stopping and starting production on something else. And although I got 6 sewing machines in here, Jackie sews a little bit, but she didn't want to take it on. She's like, no. So that's why we couldn't do it. But that's, I could have sewn, I could have hired some seamstress and had 6 people in here sewing. Mm-hmm. I have cutters to cut plastic, screws, drills. It's just one of those things where I'm doing too much and I decided, you know what? Let the other people have it. Let me stick to what I'm doing and not try to do too much again. So, all right, so you would go to the UK. Wow. Okay, so where else?
Have I gone?
Yeah.
I did like a guest speaking thing in Houston a few years ago for the Workers Club of Houston. I did like a day-long seminar thing.
Okay, so what was that about?
I had like 6 different sessions or 6 different topics. God, that was years ago. That was like 3 years ago. I was like, I do one on card scrapers and like milling your own lumber. That was a bigger one. I think I did one on like half-line dovetails and like bow tie inlays. I don't know, stuff like that.
Okay, and you also went to a chair making thing.
Yeah, so that was in the UK.
That was in the UK.
Yeah, that was in that was at the Westonbirt Arboretum. They have a really nice little like green woodworking center thing there. So they give you a log on day 1, and on day 5 you have a chair sitting.
So okay, so how did that work? When you went, did you know like how to? Because David Dion and I went in the yard and we went through what part of the log is best to use for a chair. Did you know that when you went in?
I didn't know anything about chair making when I went in there. No, it was, or like like it was all hand tools too. So there was no power tools at all. So it's a Windsor chair. So you do like all the turnings on a spring pole lathe a spring pole lathe, and like there's 7 spindles in the chair. And I said like this is gonna be 3 days of spindle turning. I'm like 3 days. This is like 2 hours worth of turning. Oh no, it took 3 days. Like you're sitting there, it's a foot pedal, so you're sitting on the lathe, you gotta go back and forth. And of course, like the instructor's done like thousands of these things. So he's like, so he can do one in like a couple minutes, and I'm up there like 2 hours trying to turn a thing, and then you gotta take a break because your leg's cramping.
Right. And that took 5 days.
Yeah, it was a week-long thing. Yeah, it was 5.
All right. So if you had to build that chair again, would you do it the same way?
I mean, it was fun. I would probably just. I think I would do all of the other things with hand tools, but I would turn the spindles on a power lathe. It's like carving the seat was fun. You did it with some ads, so you're sitting there like whacking at it and just trying not to cut the feet off. It was that was fun, but after like 1 or 2 spindles, I'm like, this is not for me.
It's for the birds. What about domestically? Have you traveled to participate in any workshops?
I've done I spoke at Working in America, and that was still going on. I did Weekend with Wood last year. I did the Woodsmith Workshop last fall, where I was a speaker as well. I think that's all like the speaking events that I've done.
What's up, David Dillard? He said there's a reason why we have power lathes.
It's true.
So when you do this stuff, people call you and ask you to come out.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of those things that I was talking to another designer today. Once you do it and people see you do it more.
That's very true, yes.
So what's your objective with going to all these conferences and speaking? What's the big picture besides world domination?
There's always world domination. Honestly, for me, it's just to do something a little different. And again, it's more of a personal development thing because it's not like you don't make a whole lot of money doing it, so it's not financially like motivating. But 2 main things for me is there's the personal thing where I absolutely hate public speaking and I'm terrified of it more than anything. So I'm getting better. I still have pretty extreme anxiety for any of these things, but it's getting better. So the only way it's going to get better is if I keep forcing myself to do it, is what I've realized.
Got to do it.
And then the other reason is to get out and meet the people that I interact with online, to put faces to names.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I first met Alan Adler, A.A. Turning, in Pittsburgh 5 years ago at the Woodturner Symposium, right? And I had this shirt on, Blacklumberjack.com, and he comes up to me and he goes, and he was with another turner in New Jersey. What is his name? But anyway, I started meeting these guys. Alan and I became cool. He gave me lessons on turning. And then I went to Kansas City, and we went to Atlanta to do other symposiums. And the people are great. I was amazed at how many wood turners there are that do amazing work, and ain't nobody on any social media. Nobody.
That's the thing. Is like because we spend so much time on social media, I think our bubble of like what the world is like the actual bubble. There's so much outside of what we see here.
Yeah. Okay. Furniture by DeGarmo is. I wondered how you managed the public speaking, knowing how shy you seemed several years ago. Good for you, Matt, for continually stretching your comfort zone. That's what it's about.
It is. And like I still don't enjoy it, but it's getting better.
One day at a time.
My favorite part of it is when it's over.
Another one in the books. So, okay, now we're at, you don't take commission work, you do stuff in your shop for content. How, in Alabama woodworking, the same thing. How much time do you spend doing something to build content?
All the time.
So, okay, so what if you're taping something and it goes bad?
That's content. I mean, that's actually that's more optimal than it going well.
That's true. That's true.
Actually, which
That's
is
true.
It's such a backwards way of thinking about things. Or it's if you make mistakes or something happens like that, that's more interesting as a piece of content for people than if it all went smoothly.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because when I first asked people to do this, it was all guys. I asked about the first lady I wanted. What's up, Brett? The first lady I wanted was insect design. Aisha does concrete.
Oh, cool.
I don't know if you know her, but she doesn't do the concrete like concrete. She's doing lampshades. She's
really?
sick. She's sick. It's crazy. So I'm like, hey, I want to get you on. She's like, she didn't want to do it. She didn't want to do it. So I got all these interviews set up, right? And it's all successful white men. And I'm like, this is going to get old fast. I need to get some girls in here. I need to get other people in here. I need to get people of color in here. And the color thing I didn't worry about so much because I'm colored. So there's always a person of color. But I'm like, this cannot be a constant run of successful white men. It can't. It's not going to last. So I'm with you. There has to be some variety.
Yeah.
99 Woodcraft says, what's up? What's up, Watson? And Furniture by Guillermo is a female maker, and she's good. She's good. So, you know what? Let's open up for questions. How's the Bridgeport and the trailer coming along?
They're not really coming right now. I like the Bridgeport. I kind of got sidetracked with my little chair kits thing that I'm trying to launch, and the trailer was going to get galvanized, but the company that I talked to do it, they backed out after not really responding for like 6 weeks. So I'm painting it next week.
Now, what are you painting it with?
POR 15.
Okay, is that the undercoating stuff?
It's like the heck is it called? It's like a urea cure paint. Is that what it's?
Yep.
Whatever,
yep.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and Wood Lumber says if things going wrong is good content, I'm sitting on a gold mine. Post it, man.
He is.
Still agreeing, you're right. You can never have too much color diversity, but when you don't have any, it's a problem. So what would you like to? What is it about you that we don't know?
I don't know.
Is there anything that you'd like to share? He's like, nah, man.
I feel like maybe you know something I don't.
No one inboxed me.
No, I don't know. I think I have a pretty open and public life, so I have a hard time keeping things secret anyway. So I got nothing to share right now.
Are you still in Brooklyn Park?
I am I'm in Brooklyn Center, so pretty close. Okay. Yeah.
No, Brett Kavanaugh. The next about 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to start again, and it's going to be specifically about the mill. So we'll get to that in a little bit. Big reveal. Your wife?
Maybe she's got something to share. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe she does. Number 4. So, what?
No fourth
What is
baby.
it you want to do about it?
No, no fourth baby. No.
That's what I was saying.
I know.
What is it you want to do about it? Do you have a goal that you want to reach by the end of the year?
I tend to set like soft goals because things tend to move around, and I kind of like the freedom of the fluidity. But at least by the end of the year, I want to at least have some of these physical products that I've been working on figured out if they're going to work or not. So the chair kits thing is the big thing that I'm kind of focusing on right now. Slab skins is something else that I'm kind of pursuing. That's kind of
slab skins. What's that?
That's like thick veneer, thick wide veneer.
Okay. And you did that a while ago, right? You cut some.
Yeah, so I started like executing on that last summer. It went really well. It works really well. It's perfect. It's nice. I just can only do so many things at once as far as product launches. So that one's just kind of sidelined a little bit. I think that one's a little more kind of like niched down a little bit more than some of the other ideas I have. So I don't know.
So how do you dry that wood?
That gets dried in a vacuum kiln that has press plates. So like the slab, which is, I cut them about a ½ inch, which was thicker than needed, but it keeps them flat while they're drying. So they come out not potato chipped. And then you can just stick that down to whatever.
Right. Wesley Michael Woodworking, is this your full-time job or a very passionate money-making hobby?
This is my full-time job and a very passionate money-making hobby. It's very, like, I think about this all the time. I have a very weird job. Like, my job is being a hobbyist. Well, I can pursue the things I'm interested in whatever manner I'm interested in pursuing them. And that's how I make money. It's bizarre.
That's good.
I fully acknowledge it's very weird.
That's good. Slab skins are to go so many different uses. So what do you find useful about slab skins?
I just love this. It allows you to do some really unique things. So you can do like a whole door as one piece of wood. And you can get some weird stuff because you're probably not going to be able to get a piece of veneer that is a crotch or like a whole freaking tree or whatever and stick it down on your door. And you got some more thickness there, so you can do edge profiling on that thing, which you can't normally do with normal veneer. And if you do like a miter fold thing, you can make a table that looks like super thick without having to buy a slab that's 4 inches thick or having the weight of something 4 inches thick.
Yeah, when it comes to doors, that'd be great for wrapping doors.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can wrap anything, wrap whatever you want.
Right. Okay. So in Pizzato, what did you do before woodwork? He worked at a startup. That's in the beginning of the video, the live. How do those slab skins work when laminating to plywood? Don't the skins still move with humidity and changes?
So the final thickness on the skins is a 1/4 inch, and like so one of the things that, or one of like the product like finding pathways or whatever was to create projects and see what the hell happens to them over time. So the projects that we created last year made it through the winter and now we'll come back in the summer and we haven't had any problems with any movement or anything like that. So I think we're still within that like that veneer thickness range where it doesn't matter. It's not so thick where it's actually going to cause an issue.
Right. What's up, Bliss Woodshop? You are making all the chair kits yourself?
No, they're all made at the like a production shop. It's all on like fancy CNC things.
And Bliss, and he's a CNC guy, so You can do it. Thanks for asking. I would love woodworking to be a full-time job one day. Keep working, brother. You'll get out of it what you put in it.
Find that path.
Yep.
A lot of
That's
them.
it. So, okay. So yes. She said it helps a lot that you're wrapping the door with material from the same flitch. That is.
If you're doing a whole series of them or something too, you can literally book match doors.
Yep. So we'll wait a couple seconds, couple minutes, and then we'll start again and talk about the mill.
All right.
What's your plan for tomorrow, the rest of the week? What projects would you suggest for us intermediate woodworkers?
So I find like the labels to be difficult because like what someone considers, I consider myself an intermediate woodworker. So anything that I make, I guess, it's like I think everyone like categorizes themselves differently. So it's really hard to like say, okay, what does intermediate woodworker mean for you? But at least for my method of like, I don't know, improving is just to literally just do things you've never done before. And if you're not scared a little bit going into it, you're probably not going to learn from it, benefit from it. So it doesn't take much to get outside your comfort zone, but as long as you're outside of it, you're going to make some progress.
You're going to grow. You're going to grow. Are you both wood hoarders that sell some wood to get more wood for private? I am a wood hoarder. No question about that. He is too, as much as he can be.
I only have so much space.
Your brother-in-law destroyed the first epoxy pour. It's a start over again.
Oh, my sister's on here? Oh, gosh. Hey, Nicole. Things like failing completely that I have to start over can't really say that's ever like, it doesn't happen super often. Maybe I'm just lucky. I guess I've never encountered anything that's like a total loss is not like fixable.
Right.
Yes.
Matt, do you have a general idea on average how much time it takes to make your content? Like, does 5 minutes of content take 5 hours? That's a good question.
It really depends on the style of content. So, like my shop update takes me about 4 hours. That's about an 8-minute video. If it's like, and that doesn't take a whole lot of time. That includes filming. Something like an actual project, like you take the amount of time it normally takes you to actually make that. Maybe you triple that or quadruple that to actually film it. And then you figure you're going to spend 16 or 20 hours in post-production to actually create that piece of content and distribute it to the world.
Good Lord.
So it's a different way of working. You know, it's different. The product is that video. The product is not necessarily the thing I'm actually making.
Yes, you're right. And you can't be confused about the goal.
Yep.
Brad Bushel, Matt the Master moving heavy-ish by himself. Yeah. But again, he does it for the video.
A lot of that's when I think about the videos and the content I create, I like it to fall into like three categories. It can be all three of these things, a combination: educational, inspirational, and something else, which I can't think of right now.
Bad ASS.
Entertaining. There we go. Entertainment, education, or inspiration, and maybe hopefully all three. So there's a lot of people that like want to get into cutting their own logs and wanting to be able to like make some lumber themselves because they love wood, which is great. But they get sidetracked by the fact that they can't move these things because it's such an insurmountable thing. When in reality, it's not that. I mean, it's the most convenient way is to have like a log truck or a grapple come move for you. But you can move things. People have been moving things for thousands of years.
Yeah. heavier and bigger things.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to respond to that in front of you. Love that you got your logo. Well, I put the logo in the back, right? Because before I had a dead tree, and this logo is what I used to use when I did the flea markets.
Okay.
And it was in the building that caught a fire. So it's all wrinkled because we had to pull it out, and we were on the street washing it down this morning. And I'm like, I should have something back there. Now, back to your point, right? When I first started, I started with a trailer and a van. And I had a winch on the back of the trailer, and I had a floor jack. What I would do, it was a big log. I jack the log up, get it on the tip of the trailer with the pipe, pull it right on.
There you go.
Now, let me tell you a story about that. Oh, so I'm in Oneida, New York, which is about 30 minutes from Syracuse. So it's 5-6 hours from here. And I'm taking out 7 nice walnut logs from 3 massive trees. So the first day a crane loads me. Good. Tie up, I hit the road. When I came back, there was this lady, an older lady, right, who liked talking. So I'm jacking the log up to put on the trailer. She's supposed to be holding the pipe. She was just talking. I let that jack down. That log crushed her fingers.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
This lady was yelling and crying. I'm freaking out. I'm going to get sued. I'm going to jail. And she says, listen, I shouldn't have been helping you. I know it. You told me not to. Don't worry about it. She goes, you go. I'll take care of the rest. I'm like, no. She goes, go. So I didn't leave her. The ambulance took her away, and that was my issue with that. It could be dangerous. I've gotten stuck. It caught a flat with a heavy log on there, and that's why I always took the big two-ton floor jack, just in case I got in a bad spot.
Yep.
All right. So we have 1 minute and 35 seconds left. So now, let's see if we have any more questions. Oh, geez. What's the return work for that much work? Are you doing the camera work and set up? Yep. All that stuff is in the first part of the live. Man, everything changes when you start employing a lot of babysitting. Yeah. Definitely inspired by your videos.
Thank you.
Good. She wasn't talking about me, Matt. She was talking about your logo on your mill. Love following your work, Matt. You inspired me 3 years ago. Now I'm a full-time with the wood business. Congrats.
Awesome.
What's up from Brazil? Okay, let's get off and get back on.
All right.
So we're going to come back on and we're going to talk about the mill specifically.
Yep.
Thank you all. All right.